it's been frustrating when the network has kind of cut it short, maybe before you would have. So I'm curious if you've ever considered doing like a subscription-based web series so that you can get your work out there. I mean, wouldn't you guys pay a couple bucks per episode so he can do what he wants?
Thank you, head of marketing. I didn't think he was going to make it. If this all falls, this will be the best con ever. I absolutely have. I've been thinking about it and thinking about it. All of that thinking about it led to not actually doing it. Because, you know, I was working out so many different possible models of how something could be built and paid for, and I really, really want to do that sort of thing. The two things that excite me the most are the idea of working with nothing, working, you know, from the ground up with, you know, available light and the people around me and a digital camera and putting out there a story that I'm really invested in. And I mentioned yesterday that I've been working on a story I came up with that I realized I could not write without the help of Warren Ellis, called Wastelanders. And we are still actively pursuing that. But the other thing that I really like is where you can have everything you want. So I have to live in that world for a while, and then hopefully I'll be able to get back to the much smaller stuff, because I think it's part of the way entertainment has got to be worked out for the creative community and for the fans. Network television, probably not right away. Probably not my next thing.
Oh, hello. As a director, you like using long, choreographed sequence shots. I was wondering what influences you to do that. And Joss means God in Filipino.
Oh, yeah. And it didn't before me. Thank you, I didn't know that. Wow, I'm so into myself, I forgot about the first part of the question. That's lame.
What influences you to do sequence shots?
You know, your long take, your single master that goes a long way and it covers a lot of ground, it's like a drug. It should be used recreationally, but you can become addicted. I'm looking at you, early Brian De Palma. The thing I love about it is that it puts you in a space, and it moves you through that space in a way that makes the space more real to me than if you cut. It also, there's a frisson between the actors that is just not there when you're getting somebody's coverage and then you're turning around and getting somebody else's. I also should have turned off my phone before. I think some of my favorite long takes, you know, there are the great ones like Touch of Evil, where you can't believe the camera's still going. And then there are the great ones like Crimes and Misdemeanors. There's a scene between Mark Landau and Angelica Houston. You would never know the entire scene is one take. Those are the ones that really dazzle me. There's also a longer single take in Touch of Evil than the opening. The opening is very flashy, but there's one between Charlton Heston and Orson Welles later on that's about 5 minutes long. It doesn't present itself as that. It just keeps you in there. It sucks you in. If you use it at the wrong time, you're going to find that out in the editing room and you're going to cut it up. So it's a dangerous tool. I used it in Serenity for a very specific reason. Everything was very disjointed. Everything was time, was where are we? Oh, we're in a dream. It's a flashback. Oh, it's a hologram. It's an escape. What's going on? And then when we got to the ship, I wanted to say, look, this is solid ground, literally, by showing all of it and by showing the connection between everybody. So the influences, again, look at James Mason in A Star is Born, right before The Man Who Got Away, which is also one take and is phenomenal, and Judy Garland's amazing. But before that, there's a scene of James Mason going into a club, trying to figure out which girl he's going to sleep with, and talking to the maitre d' about which one he can have. It's a kind of an ugly scene emotionally, but it's a gorgeous scene, and it's all one take. And again, you don't notice. this. You're just sort of sucked in, and it just puts you in that world. So there are a lot of influences, because it's a great device if it's not abused.
Hello? Angel killed his alive Robbie near the end of the show, and he didn't show much remorse after the fact. Okay. Did you mean with that you need to do evil acts in order to accomplish greater good?
I'm sorry, who killed whom? Oh, Angel killed
Killed
Drogon.
Dragon.
Drogon was the guy who couldn't lie and lived in a tree. I don't make this stuff up. That's what happened. And of course, Giles killed Ben rather mercilessly. Ultimately, what's interesting to me is when people we love get to a place where they have to do something we don't love. That they have to do something that is maybe reprehensible for the greater good. It's a dicey thing because there are so many instances in life where we're confronted with that and it's not okay. Waterboard. In fiction, you can say this evil is so terrible that we can do these things, but it does take a toll. It's supposed to take a toll on Angel. And if they hadn't canceled the show, totally would have had a sad time about Drogon. We would have been all mopey about Drogon for like 7 episodes. I don't think ultimately he would show much remorse because of what was at stake. But then look at the structure of that episode. And, from the very early in the season, I said we're going to do The Godfather. We're going to do Today We Take Care of All Family Business, which is not exactly a heroic model to be building from, but we're going to put them in a position where that's how they have to do it. So it's always more interesting if your heroes are not too clean